All right, what's going on YouTube? We are looking for a silver bullet setup during this London session. Okay, I'm looking to go short here. We've worked in this new day opening gap. Okay, so these two purple rectangles here that I have extended on my chart are new day opening gaps. So we worked in this upper one here. I want to see us draw into this lower one here. And we do have a new week opening gap as well right here, but I will be reaching for that new day opening gap. If we could form a fair value gap here, depending on where this candle closes, I will go short, stop loss above this high, targeting that new day opening gap down here. We traded into a breaker on the 5-minute. So if you look in the upper right, we have a high, low, higher high. Last down close candle in between your two highs there. That is your bearish breaker. And you can see us working that breaker there, and we break lower. And we're about to form that fair value gap. There you go. Stop loss above the high, like I mentioned. And we will be targeting that new day opening gap down here. So this is your London silver bullet trade. And I will also take a partial once we reach that new week opening gap, because once we do that, we can retrace or reverse. Okay, but I really like this draw on liquidity, this new day opening gap. Also lines up with this bullish order block, last down close candle prior to this rally higher. So targeting this area down here. It's been a while since I've done a live trade walkthrough, so the morning sessions and the PM session in the Nasdaq at least have been more or less sloppy. If we look at the daily chart in the top right, we're really just kind of stuck in this consolidation. It's not the cleanest price action. So the morning sessions have been pretty low probability. We've been talking about it in the Discord the past, really since this day here, which is January 19th. After that, just a lot of up and down, back and forth. Not really clean, but there have been nice setups to form during London and sometimes during the PM session. But as far as the AM session goes for Nasdaq, it hasn't been the cleanest. But for the sake of YouTube content, we're in this silver bullet. So I'll go ahead and outline that macro that occurs every hour. Right there. And I'm actually going to take two partials here because that is a new week opening gap. Okay, that's a strong point of support and resistance. So I will take 2 out of my 3 contracts off at that new week opening gap, and I'll leave a runner on for that new day opening gap. That's a little bit lower. So once we close past midpoint of this wick here, I'll move my stop loss above this high. Okay, this long wick close past halfway point. I'll reduce some of my risk and let the rest run to our targets down here. And while this is paying out, it's a great time to mention, if you're not in the Discord, go ahead and join that. I'm live streaming every week. If you want to watch me trade live, only the Nasdaq, of course, feel free to join the Discord. It is $20 a month. which in my opinion is a is a steal compared to what I've seen out there. So there's also different tiers. Okay, $20 a month gives you access to everything in the Discord plus the live streams, obviously. There's also a tier that's only $10 a month, and that gives you everything else in the Discord except for the live streams. Okay, so you'll have access to the market reviews, trade breakdowns, weekly forecasts where I share my bias for the week and I share my key levels and all those things. Okay, so check that out. And then there is a sort of general admission if you really don't want to, invest that much in a Discord server. I do have a third tier that I believe is at $3 right now. Okay, and that's just general admission to Discord. You have access to the chat room and a couple other channels in there. So there's some resources in there that you can get for a great value. So definitely check that out in the link in the description, and I hope to see you in there. All right, so our stop loss is not moving until we reach that wick that I mentioned. Okay, I'm never in a hurry to jam my stop loss, okay, when I'm in a trade. If we look in the upper right box here, if we take a look at the dollar, okay, dollar is bullish. We're just trending higher, which makes it easy for shorts in the indices. Okay, so higher dollar means lower prices for Nasdaq, S&P, Dow. Okay, in an ideal market, there's of course times where dollar's pushing higher and the indices are pushing higher as well. Okay, those are typically the harder market conditions. But when we have dollar working its way higher and Nasdaq working its way lower, that's ideal. So I like to see this in dollar. It gives me more confidence that our targets are going to get hit down here. And if we take a look at the S&P, also making its way lower, that's what I like to see. And the Dow as well, pushing down. So everything is symmetrical, lower indices, higher dollar. Now we just wait for our targets to get hit. Depending on how long this trade takes to pan out, I may fast forward this part. We'll see. I don't want this video to be too crazy long. London is a little slower, of course, compared to the AM and the PM session, but I'll give it some time. All right, so we're well past halfway point of this wick that I mentioned. So it's now time to reduce some of that risk. Now look at the risk to reward ratio after reducing our risk from above this high to above this high. Much more appealing there. So this is kind of pretty much what goes on in the live streams. Okay, so definitely recommend getting in there if you're struggling as a trader or just simply want to improve as a trader. We have a lot of guys in there. I think we have 105 people in the Discord right now. So pretty cool community in there. Nothing toxic. We're just focused on getting better, making money. So if the live streams are something that you want to tune in every morning, this is kind of what it's like. I'm just going over price action, talking about what I see. And if I see a setup, then I'll engage it live with you guys watching. So it's pretty fun. I love how dollar continues to just rip higher. Love to see it. Now, once our take profit gets hit, our first partial down here at that new week opening gap, I will move my stop loss to break even because at that point, like I said, it can retrace or potentially reverse. So this is my sort of best case scenario exit, that new day opening gap down here. That's not guaranteed, which is why I'm taking a partial in this area. First partial is about to get hit here. There we go. Just like we drew it up. Stop loss, move to in profit, and my best case scenario target, that new day opening gap. We'll see if we can get that. Beautiful short. All right. When you're in situations like this, the most important thing is to just let it run. Once you've already paid yourself and your stop is moved to break even, don't play with your stop loss. Don't start moving your take profit levels. Just submit to it. If it were to retrace and come all the way back up here and stop me out, that's not a problem. Okay. This is a profitable trade during London session. There's no reason to start fidgeting and moving your stop and moving your targets closer or shorter. Okay, if it retraces a little bit, that's fine. Submit to your trade idea, and whatever happens, happens. But at the end of the day, this is why you take partials, because if it doesn't hit this target, okay, it's not a big deal. All right, so since we have a fair value gap here and a fair value gap here and a new week opening gap that could potentially act as resistance, stop loss will go just above the high of this fair value gap. Now right here, I prefer to see this fair value gap stay open, okay? And I want to see speed to the downside because we have this new week opening gap. There's no reason, in my opinion, to trade up into this larger fair value gap if we want this level down here. So best case scenario, I would like for this to stay open because we do already have an inefficiency here overlapping with that new week opening gap. So I'm watching to see if we leave this open. Again, I'm watching to see if we want to trade into that higher fair value gap. I prefer not to see that. But as I mentioned, once we reach that new week opening gap, a retracement or reversible is possible, which is why stop loss is moved a little bit more in profit and we close 2/3 of our position. Notice how the bodies are opening and closing near that new week opening gap and near the high of this fair value gap. That's something that I like to see. I really prefer to see large down close candles as we reach towards that new day opening gap if we want it. Once we take out this low, stop loss will then be trailed above this high. And there we go. So there is our target. Okay, as we mentioned, this fair value gap with this new week opening gap, offered as support. I stated that I wanted to see this fair value gap stay open. It stayed open, and our best case scenario target was hit. So 3 here, 2 partials, terminus. So that's it. Again, I will be live streaming this week. Check that out. Link is in the description in the Discord if you want to see me do this live. That would be a great learning experience for you. If you don't want to pay $20 a month, there is also, like I mentioned, another tier for $10 a month. You can still access a bunch of material in that Discord that could really take your trading to the next level. And then there is a third tier for only a few bucks a month, and you can still access some pretty good material with that subscription as well. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, click the link in the description. I hope to see you there. If you're already a member of the Discord and you're already subscribed, I will see you in the live stream tomorrow, 9:25 a.m. Eastern. All right, New York time as always. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Instagram, YouTube, Discord. Okay, however you need to do it, I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And that's all I got for this one. Until I see you guys in the next video. Peace.